What is going on, jig heads? Josh here from Dark Horse Tackle. I want to let you all in on a little early access secret, some behind the scenes work that Dark Horse Tackle is doing. We have collaborated with John Dalton from Creek Fishing Adventures to bring you the long awaited and the highly anticipated, and everybody's been asking for it. We've got the Creek Fishing Adventures kit available at darkhorsetackle.com. Right now, we are allowing you to gain early access to this kit. It is $49.99, featuring a bunch of finesse multi-species baits. For those of you who fish the Jigs and Bigs multi-species tournament, this is perfect for you. We have a bunch of presentations from top to bottom ready to go and catch a ton of species and a ton of fish. So go to darkhorsetackle.com and search Creek Fishing Adventures multi-species kit. Add that bad boy to your cart and start catching a ton of fish. Again, Josh here from Dark Horse Tackle. Thanks for listening to Jigs and Bigs, and thank you all for being Dark Horse Tackle customers. We fish.
Telling you, we have one hell of a show in store for you. First off, Team Big Jig Energy has hit a limit already in the team series, and now we're actually in the top 5, guys. Believe it or not, Joe got a great head start, and I managed to round it out with a little squeaker in there to fill out the limit, but it got even better just today. Speaking of my week, I was kind of handed a little bit of a shit sandwich recently. I was able to polish a turd. Well, you're going to figure out if I was or not. We'll see. That's still to be determined. We'll also, have you ever wondered why yesterday's pattern kind of betrayed you on the same body of water the following day? Well, it very well could have been because of a front passing through. And we're taking a look at the specifics of what effects a cold front can have on you and what you can actually do to turn it around. Spoiler alert, it's not simply dragging a worm. Plus, we have some additional great tips for fishing rivers following last week's Just the Tip segment from our buddy South Jersey Josh in the live well this week as well. Guys, you don't want to miss it. All kinds of good stuff lined up. Jigs and Bigs. Let's go ahead and get started. Come on. I like that idea. Dave Urkey, the Wolf of Walmart, joining us for a show recording this week in the live stream, in the Jighead exclusive live stream. He says, okay, take a shot every time someone says jigs. I am here for it.
I would typically be here for it, but I got to fill in at work tomorrow.
Oh, so you got to work tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Lucky. Just a half day.
Still, man, you're lucky, man. I'm going to be out in that fucking rain fishing a slot limit series.
Yep.
I'm not loving
it. It's supposed to be hot garbage tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, man, I am.
But they'll be chomping. I think they'll be chomping.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping that will be enough to get me past the fact that I'm going to be soaked to the core. So it's going to be bad.
I think it's going to be like that. A lot like that day that we had last year for the slot limit tournament.
You think so? I hope so. That'd be great. That was solid.
Remember, we got dumped on. We got dumped on like twice. During that day.
It's going to be all day tomorrow too. So who knows? Who freaking knows? Who knows? It'll be crazy. Joe, I have really good news for you. So
let's hear it.
I have been utilizing the hell out of that JDM reel that I got from you, that Tatula. Yeah. Utilizing it like crazy. I just put my second spool of line on it today.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just because I've been using it for so much stuff.
Like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been, every time I cut something off, I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like, you know what we're going to do? This will be nice and fresh for tomorrow. Like it is, that rod rarely is not in one of those primary rod holders. Like it's one of those things that when I'm looking to find fish, it's that one. And there's another one that it's in there as well. That fiberglass rod has been really kind of impressing me. But that reel, I was like, man, yeah, this is the juice. I caught them. No, not all of them today. We'll get into what happened today.
Yeah,
we will.
Yep.
Today was something. I was concerned with today, and I'm a little bit more concerned with what the hell's going to happen with tomorrow. Looking at the weather, because for those that don't know, like, you know, as we're recording this, it is Friday night, and you guys won't hear the show until Monday night at the earliest. But the slot limit is tomorrow. May 9th is the day for the slot, and there are a grand total of 5 anglers in there. I believe it's myself, Brody, the Moy brothers, Alan and Ronald, and Nathan Grant were the only 5 anglers that are entered in there. Now, I'm not sure where Alan and Ronald are, where they're based in the country, or actually Nathan. I'm not sure if he's a Midwestern guy, but I know that Brody and I are going to be essentially swimming with these fish. It's going to be dumping that much rain here, so it'll be kind of interesting. It'll definitely be kind of interesting. But even Binya's not doing this, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. The good thing about Brody is I believe his grandparents live on the lake, so he can just fucking sit around. Sit in the house, dude.
That's the thing. He can do however he needs to. But I'm torn too. Like I was on the water today for 4 hours, and I only had 2 bites, but they were both fantastic fish, both of them. That is hot. Both of them would be on the top end of the slot too. You know, they'd be up there. The problem is I can't rely on that for the slot limit. So I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I was debating, just because of the proximity, saying screw it and doing Congamon Jr. Because I'm like, I could leave later.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, if I'm absolutely soaked, I can just come right back home and say, fuck it. You know what I mean? No big deal. Sure. The problem there is it is like Nibblerville. Like the 11-inch bass is so common that I just don't know if those fish are going to qualify for the slot. And my other thought was just to go to Red Bridge. And I'm leaning toward that, honestly. Yeah. I'm leaning toward that just because I'm like, if it's the conditions do lay out well and they are eating, then I think that'll be good. Plus, I've caught some really big fish over there that would be too large for the slot, but would benefit the team tournament. So I'm definitely leaning a little bit more toward that. That's not that far from me. It's about a half hour away, but I'm like 15 minutes away from Congamon Jr., man. So yeah, we'll see what happens when I wake up, but let's talk the fishy shit all over the place. Before we get into it, we got some housekeeping stuff to talk about. For those of you that don't know, what the hell is Jigs and Bigs? Well, hi, my name's Bobby Roast Beef. I'm the host of Jigs and Bigs, and we are a weekly fishing podcast. I'm joined here every week with my good friend Joe Brown, aka American Vet Fishing. You know, he is the proprietor of AVF Tackle Experts as well. So we have this weekly show that goes on. We talk about the fishing community, all kinds of stuff. Things that people are buzzing about. We try to give you some tips anytime that we can. We engage with all of you. You may have heard us reference a few names earlier in the show. Those are our jig heads. The jig heads are our Patreon followers. Now, they subscribe. I can't believe they pay money for this, but they subscribe. They get access to the recording of this show as it happens live. So they're able to engage with us as it's happening. If a topic comes up and they want to, throw their opinion in, they get access to do that. And it's awesome. It's great. They support the show. And without the jig heads, this show would be nothing. Also, we do a lot more than just talk on the internet. We are all over social media. YouTube channels for the both of us, at Jigs and Bigs, at American Vet Fishing, on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok. I mean, everything. You can find us everywhere, Facebook as well. But we also do online tournaments. And we work with Binya Outdoors. He is our tournament director for these tournaments. And we have a little slice of everything. From your typical bass tournaments, we do a slot limit series, which is nationwide. This allows all of our listeners all over the country, and yes, in Canada, to be able to engage and compete with one another, where it's all about catching your average size fish, 12 to 17 inches the slot. Catch as many as you can. It's a whole lot of fun. Those are a monthly tournament. They come around once a month. It's a single day, 8 hours. It's a whole lot of fun. You should definitely check that out. We also do a team tournament, which has been exploding lately. We're only the second month in. We have one region right now, and it's in the highest, most, I guess, populated area of Jigs and Bigs listeners. It's focused right now in the Northeast, but that will be expanding next year because this has legs. It's really been doing well. And these are bass tournaments, but we also do the multi-species scavenger hunt where it's kind of like Pokemon for shit with gills. And it's a blast. This month being May, we have a little bit of everything happening. We have a multi-species open kicking off on next week. We have the championship, which is kicking off on Friday the 15th. And we have, what do we have? We have a slot limit series, which is happening tomorrow, the 9th. That when you're hearing this will be already over. But we're in the middle of a month-long smackdown, throwdown battle of team-style play all over our only region right now in the Northeast. It is bananas. Of course, if you're listening to the show and you like what you're hearing, go ahead and rate and review us on your preferred podcast platform. That really does help us out a ton. And as you hear the show, you're going to hear some phone calls that'll come in, like that one from Josh Chitwood from Dark Horse Tackle at the beginning of the show. You can call and leave us a message, a shout out, ask a question, anything like that. Submit an FTG. You'll find out what the fuck that guy is all about later in the show. But you can call or text us at 413-324-8519. Go ahead and put that number in your phone because if you like Jigs and Bigs, you're going to want that at arm's reach. 413-324-8519. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and recap our weeks. Joe,
let's do it.
What kind of fishy shit have you been up to, my friend?
I know a little Bobby, bit, before we get into anything, I was left a voicemail by the one and only Wild Bill, and he said, I can't listen to it until I play it on the show.
Okay.
I have not listened to it. I got to make sure the sound is up here. But I'm going to play it all for everyone here. So this is my first time hearing it also. Can you guys hear it?
It's a little quiet.
Hold on. Let me put on speaker here.
Oh, that'll help.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey, this is FTG for Joe Brown. Dude, that guy's such a piece of shit. Oh, shit. Did I call Joe Brown? Joe! Bill, Hookset. Listen, buddy. Disregard that other shit. Just calling to see what was the deal. We're getting on the water. I see you texted me. Might not happen. You know where I'll be, buddy. Like I said, disregard the...
That was it. What an asshole. Oh, no, hold on. It wasn't done yet.
First half of the message. Just a little prank call. Just a joke. Call me back. Okay? I love you. Bye.
So I did indeed call him back. And,
okay, good.
And I was not, we had made a plan to go out today. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get today off. I talked a big game saying I was going to, because I was on the Hoodlum cast the other night. And,
that's right. Yeah.
I talked a big game saying oh yeah, dude, I'll be able to get Friday off. No problem. And was yep, we'll go out on the boat. I'll get you on we'll get on some big bed fish. And it didn't happen. But, so sorry, Bill. Sorry, Bill. I owe you.
These things happen.
Bobby, let's talk about our week, dude.
Yeah. It's been a week.
So we'll start with, it was a mess last week for me because I was obviously driving home from Florida as I was on the show because I was running a little behind. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna run it here. The sound was awful, all that shit. So I apologize, guys. I'm back.
I want to give you some credit. I genuinely want to give you some credit. Let me ask you this to start. Was OG Scuba Steve on Hoodlum Cast when you recorded this week?
Oh my God, dude.
Was he?
Yes.
Love that guy. Like a homie. You know what I mean? Love him. Right. But I will say that when you called from the car or from the brown bus, when you called and I heard that audio, I was just like, motherfucker, it's like we got OG Scuba Steve here. I thought you were going to just fall asleep at the wheel eating popcorn. All of a sudden your screen was going to go black and you'd be in like an Aldi. I was like, what is even happening here? So, but you were the commander of the mute button. You were on it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent job.
Yeah. Yeah, I made sure.
You were on that
I apologize for that, listeners. But so I'll do a quick breakdown of that. We went down to Florida, flew down. Dude, it was literally a turn and burn. Like, we flew down, signed papers. They gave me a rundown and a demo of the RV. I forgot before I even fucking left. You know what I mean? I forgot everything they told me before I even left. And dude, it was like, so you're good? Like, everything's good? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking money. Like, thank you so much. Like, let's go. I sit down in the seat and I'm like, I have no fucking clue what I am doing right now. I'm like, all right. So luckily we had certain MRAPs over in Afghanistan that had kind of drove the same, you know, with the air brake and everything.
Okay.
Like, all right. I was like, okay, so it's the same pretty much. So dude, like, I'm sat behind the wheel and it's kind of tight behind this place. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And Meg's like, you good? I'm like, oh babe, I got this. I'm like, of course. Oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, I got this. Dude, I don't got this. So I use this app. Like, there's this GPS app called RV Life that it's like kind of set. You can put in like the dimensions of like your RV and it like brings you on a route to make sure that you don't hit like roads that have like low bridges and stuff. That's which is awesome. Great concept, great idea. And there's a bunch of filters and stuff. So we're like, you know, we came a day earlier than normal. Like, you want to stop at like Disney Springs, get dinner, hit the shops and stuff. She's like, fuck yeah. I was like, all right. It says it'll take us like 4.5 hours. Like, huh, that seems a little long, but all right. Yeah, we'll do it and we'll make good time. So we're going, dude. And like, as we're driving, I'm like, man, like in this app, I was like really fucking with the filters, like what you could choose and stuff. We pull over for something and I quickly like look at the filter. I had checked no highways.
Yes. Yep.
So it took me a very long time to get to Orlando.
Fair enough.
Not any highways. So we get to Orlando, dude, and I think I talked a little bit about this, but we get to Orlando, we go to Disney Springs, we have dinner at the Rainforest Cafe, because that's where Emma wanted to go, because she knew they had the animatronics. It's anyone who's familiar with Disney Springs, it's inside the volcano Rainforest Cafe, so she was super excited about that. Back in the day when we were kids, the Rainforest Cafe food was hot garbage. I don't know if you remember, Bobby.
Yeah, like it was Applebee's. Shit. Yeah. It was like Applebee's in the 99.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, the food actually was not bad.
Really?
I was actually like impressed. Yeah. So that was good. And the price, it wasn't as expensive as I expected. So we had dinner there and, I'll be honest, dude, like I was so smoked that night. I was like, let's just grab a hotel. Like, I don't feel like setting this thing up. Like I'm tired.
Sure.
So we grab a hotel, sleep, leave early in the morning. Drive was fine, you know, no issues. That's where we did the show. A few hours. I think we stopped around midnight, dude. We stopped at a Walmart to grab bedding because we didn't have bedding. So, dude, it was sick. I literally stopped into, I think, a Pilot or a Love's truck stop. Just literally backed that bitch in between two tractor trailers, kicked on the generator, and just. That was it. Didn't even have to put out the slides, and we just slept there.
That's awesome. Road mode.
We got back Sunday, late Saturday night. We got back. Got her home. The last our first trip is next weekend, so we've been like, dude, you don't really like. There's so much shit you have to get for that thing. Like it's been like this. Like Amazon's been bringing piles of shit. Like every day, because between the bedding and the accessories you need for the water and the fucking sewer and like this and that and be quiet, Siri. So we did that and got home Saturday night. I brought it home, got it into my driveway, which I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But then now it's sitting in my aunt's house. She has a huge ton of land. So that's cool. Where we're keeping it. So yeah, the RV's home, dude. It's fucking sick. I got comfortable driving it pretty quick.
That's good.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. She's a beast. She's a big old girl. And but you know, she's it's comfortable. Fucking Emma, like I said, Emma was freaking reclining in the theater chairs, watching TV, watching Netflix as we're driving and stuff. So it was great. But
that's cool. That's super cool.
Yep. So that's that. And then Sunday was just kind of a recovery day, like just from all the driving. So I didn't do shit. But and wait, hold on. No, I did fish Sunday. I fished Sunday. Oh. I went out a little later in the day. I was like, no, I'm going to go because it was like kind of recovery day for everyone else. I'm like, I'm going to go out for a few hours. So I go out to a spot local to here. And one of the spots local to here. Dude, I get out and I'm like, wow, it's kind of windy. Like a little more windy than I expected.
Oh yeah.
And whatever. I launch and there's actually a woman comes up to me as I'm undoing the boat. And I'll just say it was Quabog. It was Quabog and the waves were like hitting the boat ramp. And there's a lady there, you know, probably a little older than me.
Yeah.
And she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, do you recommend if I she has a little kayak, like a sun dolphin, dude, like,
oh my God."
She's like, "I'm new to kayaking." She's like, "I don't know if I should launch in here like right now." It's like, you 1000% should not launch in here right now.
No.
I was like, you know, there's White's Landing like down there, like that's probably like somewhere like that's probably your best bet. Just stick in the river. I was like, you do not even attempt to put this thing in here. She's like, "Okay, thank you." So she left, and so I get on the water, go to a couple spots, and I go to one of my juicy spots there, grab a couple big crappie. I actually probably caught like the biggest crappie I may have ever caught. It was definitely a pin.
Really?
He shook it at the boat, dude.
Oh, that's
shook it at the boat. I took a picture of a couple. I actually do have a picture. I still have a couple days of. I did catch another pin. It was smaller than that one. But so I was catching crappie, and I was like, I was like, I know the bass are in here. And then I'm like, I really started to focus on my 360 in this spot, and then I noticed a couple beds. And don't forget, this is the duo tournament has started, so I'm like, we gotta get on the board.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like I can't. Obviously, it's 10 feet of water. I see the beds. I'm like, all right. I was like, let me start throwing in that direction. So I ended up throwing on. I didn't do a drop shot because I was like, I can't really sight fish it. Like I like drop shots more when I can sight fish them.
Yeah.
I was like, so you know what? I'm gonna throw. I grabbed a fish or die Sherman, not Sherman. The creature bait there. Taylor's gonna kill me. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this. I'm drawing a blank here. So I dragged that. On a wicked light. I did like an 1/8 ounce Texas rig.
Okay.
Like just a light Texas rig. I just I toss it in that general vicinity. I had my live scope, my 360, drag it slow. Immediately I feel a thump and I friggin' set the shit out of it.
Yep.
And it was like it was the one I sent you. It was like a 15 3/4, I think, or 15 and a half, something like that. So I'm like, oh, perfect. I was like, this is a decent fish for the first fish in the duos.
Absolutely.
Take a picture of it, toss her back, and I'm like, let's go. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. I send Bobby the picture. I go, what's wrong with this picture, Bobby? No designator. Didn't put the designator in there.
It happens.
Yep.
Didn't affect anything though, which is good.
Right. They would have been called out today anyway, and we'll talk about that. But so caught a couple more, a couple more dinks. I ended up putting one in like the next day. That's one of the dinks. That's why I asked you. I was like, hey, can I put this in from the so I did that. I think it was like a 13-inch or something like that. But so the wind got bad. It was like white caps on Quabog. Like it was insane. Like I put I beached my boat there to put it in, dude. And they're coming up over the boat, over the back of the boat.
Oh, it's that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad, dude. So I get it back on, go home. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right. I was like, I took Monday off. I was like, if I bring Emma to school in the morning and the boys get to school, like I actually could get like a solid like few hours in of fishing.
Oh yeah.
So I do that, and I forget, this Monday. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I decide to go to another local place. And Bobby, you and I talked about it.
Oh yeah.
And this place is super clear, super clear. And I'm kind of fishing like very like pre-spawn. I caught one. It was like a little rat. I didn't even like take a picture of it. And then I go into a place. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, there's fucking bed. Like I start sightseeing them. I was like, they are fucking making awesome beds. And
what were your water temps?
57.
Oh, okay. So like right about what I was dealing with. That's crazy.
Yep.
I haven't seen any beds. Wow. All right.
Dude, it was nuts. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
And but they're not super, they're starting. I wouldn't say that they're on beds. They're starting beds. You know what I mean? Yep. Like they're not like the perfect circle yet, but they have shit cleaned out.
You're getting
from
some
them.
bloody tails.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, but you can visually see that, okay, they're making a bed here.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden I start sight fishing, dude. I'm seeing fish after fish after fish.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? So I threw on a Gadsden from Fish or Die. Then I ended up throwing on an Anomaly. I just started drop shotting.
Mm-hmm.
So first fish I catch, I see, I'm just scoping. Or not scoping. I'm just looking with my eyes, not even using electronics now. I'm just looking with my eyes because it's that clear and it's that, you can see the fish that well. And I'm looking, and I see a big girl. I'm like, oh my God. Like it was one of those like hit the brakes on the trolling motor type deal. And and I'm like, holy shit. I was like, this is a big one. So I back up and I'm like, all right, I ended up, because the wind was starting to get crazy there too. I put my power poles down and I toss out the Anomaly. I put it like right in front of her, dude, and immediately she grabs it.
That's awesome.
I hook into her. I was like, this is a good one. This is a good one. And so I'm fighting her, and I'm like, and she's trying to jump, so I'm trying to get my rod down. And it was a pretty good fight with her because I'm using a light drop shot rig with medium light rod. And I think my leader is maybe 6 pound leader. So I'm like shit. And so it was one of those like I sat in the seat, and I reached in for her versus like I wasn't gonna flip this thing. Yeah. I didn't have my net out or anything, so I just reached down and grabbed her, and she was a good girl. She was a decent sized girl. She ended up weighing in at 5 pounds on the nose. Oh,
that's awesome, dude.
Yep. She was 5 on the nose, and she was round. She wasn't as long as I was hoping. She ended up being like I think it was 19 and a half. Yeah. So I was like, I was hoping she was going to be the 20s. I was like, okay. I was like, this is great. I was like, this is going to be great for the tourney.
Yep.
And so I go and I put her back. I put her right back where she was, and I ended up going around a point to another kind of inlet, and dude, they're everywhere. You see them everywhere. Big fit, like good sized fish.
Yeah.
I get my eye on one that was bigger than the one I just caught, by a decent amount.
Okay.
I was like, and it was like one of those, oh my God moments.
Yep.
And so it's her, and then there's another good sized one, probably like 10 feet from her. They're like together. As soon as I put my poles, and I'm good 20 or 10 yards away from them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I put my power poles down, and she kind of like, the big one kind of meanders off like into like, now she's not in the bed opening anymore.
Yep.
And she's more so into she goes into the weedy area, so I can't see her now.
Oh,
and
okay.
I never saw her again, dude. She never came back.
Elusive.
But that other one was still there. So I tossed to that one. It took me a few casts to piss it off enough to so now I had lost the anomaly on that 5-pound fish. So I ended up putting a chartreuse sharpshooter on because I could see it a lot better.
Oh yeah.
So I could, like, the anomaly was kind of tough to see the color I had on there, but so I throw that in there. I finally get it to hit, set the hook. Another pretty good fight, and that one was ended up being 18.
Yeah,
like I think it was 18 right on the button.
Yeah,
so
great fish.
Yeah, another good fish. So I put that one away. I'm like, this is crazy, dude. I end up seeing like 3 more there, and so I'm doing that. There's one I could not get to bite. I went over to, there's a dock that was already out. And I see another fish, like another bed, making a bed right by the dock. Third cast, I got that one to hit, and that was the other one. That was like the, I put in 3 that day. So that was the, I think it was like 15 and a half, something like that. Succeed
15 and a quarter, something like that.
Yeah. Yep. So I put that one in, and it started to get kind of windy. I was I had to be home for the kids to get home from school, so I packed up. But dude, I was pumped. I was pumped about that trip, with that 5 and then that 3.5 ish. It was definitely a good outing. I had planned I was going to go to that same place with Bill today.
Yep.
If I had gotten it off, and I was like, this is going to be great. But I unfortunately couldn't get it off. But I didn't need it because my partner came to play today.
Put some shit together. Yeah.
Some shit together.
So,
and that's where you take over, Bobby.
With your, and I'm gonna just cover like the kind of like the tournament stuff, and then I'll do the full week.
Perfect.
So so you had those 3 from that outing, and then what was it, that 13? That was 4.
That's
we were
right. That was from the other day. That was from the first day.
So we were up to 4 now on Tuesday, because the majority of yours were Taco Tuesday, which was Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yep.
I was on the water as well, and I hooked into like a 12 and a half or a 12 and a quarter, like just over the minimum, something like that. So Tuesday we got a limit, and I was like, okay, this is great. We got a limit for the month. We're only the first weekend. This is great. 5 fish. Now the project of culling all this happens. So today I went out and I was like, I was toying around with some stuff, but I've been beating my head against this one spot that is kind of become what I would call like my home area. And it's a quality, but it's a quality fishery. There are absolutely quality fish, but I am learning so much about it. So I went and I started out in a couple of areas just to see if I could dig up fish real quick. And I fished, I don't want to say I fished it fast, but I fished with purpose. So I went and I hit this one windblown bank where there was, the recipe would, if I was going to find fish, I probably would have found them there. I found some bait balls that were like blown up around there. So I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I couldn't get anything to bite. I threw a handful of different things at them. I went over and I tried fishing some docks and didn't get anything over there. Decided to just cut my losses, and I just flew right out to the main river, right? So I get out there and I decide I need to take my own advice, and I'm going to drift. I'm going to go upriver, and I'm just going to drift, and I'm just going to let the current come down. And I actually did something that was, and I don't know that this is necessarily a safe idea, but I drifted backwards. I would, because of the way the wind was blowing and everything, every time I would spot lock, the front of my boat would just flip right around and, set up there. So what I did was I just let myself drift, and I put the trolling motor on real slow to keep my drift nice and slow. And I was going, and I fished this one juicy spot where there was a small point that came out that was rocky. And I'm like, it's time to go release a brown. So I go and beach the boat, and took the first shit in the woods of 2026 this week, which is great. So I'm like, all right, I'm wasting time here. I go and I get on the boat and I motor back up to that point and I start my drift again. And I come back down and I notice all these rocks go out a little bit further than I realized that they did. So I was throwing a couple of different baits. I had a spinner bait on because, we had wind. I was like, not great cloud cover early. And it was relatively light wind, but it was it was from the right direction. We had like a west-northwest wind today. And I was like, okay, this is good. I go over and I see these rocks and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to just drift a jig in there and see what I can come up with. So I throw a jig and I was throwing, it was a 1/2 ounce Blue Rock 1099 jig with these what the hell are the Jaw Tech trailers that I got from Dark Horse. I'm wearing a hat too. And it was a little too heavy to actually move with the current. Like it would sit on the bottom and it just wasn't enough current in that area to get it moving. And I said, you know what? I got a finesse jig tied on this one BFS combo. So I throw this over. And this was an HH Customs micro koosh ball V2. Right, it's got a little bit more of a weed guard on there with a Dirk's craw, so that's like a 2.5 inch craw. It's a really compact looking combo together. In fact, I think they did that as a perfect pairing. I know that they did it with the PWR XT from HH Customs, which is another amazing jig. So I go and I cast up into these rocks and I kind of like just hop it along the bottom and let the current kind of take it, and it gets smoked. Dude, smoked. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. So I'm fighting this fish on 6 pound test on a bait finesse combo, right? And this one came in at 15 3/4 inches. So I was like, okay, this is awesome because this will absolutely, this will make exactly what I need. It'll if nothing else, I was like, I'm not sure what Joe had in there for his smaller fish, but that 12's gone. It's going to call it. So that 15 3/4 is in there. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So I start making my way around. I'm looking at maps and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so it drops off here. I want to follow the edge of that drop off because I'm around this sandy flat, and I fished probably let's see, I caught that fish at just after 11 a.m. I didn't catch it. I'm sorry. No, that first fish was 15.5, and it was just after 11 a.m. I fished for almost 2 hours before I got my next bite, but it was a similar kind of situation, different bait though. I was throwing a finesse swim bait, and I was at this point because I knew I was running out of time. I had to go and pick up my daughter at school. I'm like, I'm going to fish this a little bit quicker, but same idea. I'm just going to drift, and I'm going to throw a finesse swim bait and see if I can't find fish elsewhere. And once I can identify where there are some fish, I'll follow anything. Then I'm going to throw and drag that jig and see what we can come up with. Didn't need to. This 15 3/4 just smoked that swim bait. Absolutely, like almost right at the boat. Followed it right up, hammered it. I measured that fish, and it was probably about half an hour later. I got a phone call from my daughter. She's like, "Yeah, there's no chorus this tonight." She's like, "I was like, I'm gonna get off the water now. We'll go and set you up." So that put us, Big Jig Energy, in 5th place. Yeah, officially, these are judged and ready to go. We are I want to say 12. Let's take a look at this. I want to say we are about 12.5 inches away from tying it up at first. 12.5, 12 1/4, something like that. Dude, it was something. It was something. And I needed today. I really did. Now, I was in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I'll use today for the slot. And no, definitely not. I'm not going to go there for the slot. I can, fish for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll probably get the right fish, and that's kind of how it's been over there. Anything that I've caught has been really good quality. Right. It just hasn't been good for when I need like numbers, or I haven't been able to get enough in the boat that often. So, dude, that was crazy. And it was so funny because I was like, dude, you just fucking talked about fishing rivers on the show. Like, listen, follow your own advice, Right. And it was a good thing. So I'm going to apply some of that, I think, tomorrow as well. We'll see what happens. But again, The focus is a little bit different, but being in both tournaments is going to be crazy. But my week was insane. So we recorded last week's show on Friday night. So we're going to go all the way back to Saturday. Okay, Saturday was nuts. Saturday, I didn't fish at all. I had a wedding. It was awesome. It was a great wedding. Big congrats and shout out to Sheena and Alan. They know how to party. This is one of the first weddings I have ever done where there was somebody on the dance floor multiple times, different people in a giant
banana costume.
I don't know why, but it was crazy. So the ceremony was interesting because of a couple of things. One, there was a technical difficulty. And you know how I use those Hollyland Lark M2 mics when I'm on the boat for YouTube? Dude, they came in clutch and actually they're probably the best microphones I've ever used. Like I have like a $700 fucking wireless rig, and it was user error. I was like rushing to get this thing set up, and I was like, why isn't this working? Oh, blah 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 blah. I'm just gonna use these. I'm glad I did because they work great. But the officiant bass fishes. And we started talking before the ceremony and everything. We had a real good conversation, man. So I mentioned the podcast. I don't know if he's going to listen, but it was awesome. We had a real good time. But I packed up in record time. Last song was at 9:55. So 10 p.m. was our out time. I was walking out the door, tearing down everything, lights and everything at 11:10 p.m. It was about an hour's drive home. I slept for about 3.5 hours. And then I turned that right around on Sunday morning. And I was up at like 5 a.m., something like that. No, I was outside at like 5 a.m. putting the boat on the hitching up the boat. And I was out to the Berkshires to meet Cheryl Bentley. And so I have been saying for a while, like Bobby Roast Beef wants to get into like the guiding space, and I'm not talking about bringing people out for, cute trophy fish or anything like that. Cause we don't live in that kind of area, you know, where like the tourism is going to bring people in to catch these giants or anything like that. But, instead, what I'm focusing on is more like technique specific stuff where if I can teach somebody something, and then also like super recreational guiding to the point where it's like fish whistle charters. And now I've got a trip of each under my belt, which is awesome. They've been really great. Both people have said, they're like, yeah, we would 100% do this and pay like what you're looking for. I was like, that is awesome. That makes me super happy. So this one was all about bait finesse. Cheryl has a bait finesse combo. It's actually a really nice combo. She's got a Corrado BFS. And I forget, I think the rod she's using is one of the ultralights from Yak Rods, which, I mean, they say ultralight. I would say that's probably more of a light rod than anything else, but it's actually a really nice combo. So we did a little classroom session. Well, there's more. This is where the shit sandwich comes in, guys. So, I drive out. It's like a little over an hour for me to get there. I get to the ramp and I go to pull my truck into the parking lot, and there's a sign there that says danger, no trespassing. There's signs that are posted because they're doing construction, I think just on the parking lot, not on the ramp. But like, dude, there's like giant like trenches dug out with like rocks they're putting in for drainage and stuff. I think they're just doing like a massive upgrade, which I get it. But the problem is when I gave Cheryl a choice of like where we could fish, I was like, there's a couple of places where I feel like bait finesse fishing really is an advantage. And one of them is like an overall multi-species, like you kind of catch a bunch of everything. And the other one is more of a trout fishery. And I was like, gotcha. And I'm going to be honest with you, the trout fishery can be a little bit more challenging because it is crystal clear water. And I was like, but I go, when you're feeling confident, that's the time to go to that one. So she's like, let's do the multi-species. So she actually got a room out in the Berkshires and stayed the night, Saturday night, and then met me in the morning. And she's like, shit, what do we do? I was like, okay, we're going to make a change. And we went to another body of water not too far away. Great multi-species fishery as well, but like, not the species that we were looking for, those compact ones. Like this has pike in it, big smallmouth. Like, and I was just like, we'll go there. Obviously, it'll be all good. But the other thing too is that like the weather, it's a somewhat larger body of water, and I'm like, with the wind, this is going to be a bitch. And we knew it going in. I was like, we're talking, dude, we were throwing like 4 and 6 pound line. is what we're throwing, like fluorocarbon. And I'm like, it's like, we're going to have to be smart about where we go and where this can be effective. So we pull in, and Joe, so here's the shit sandwich. That body of water that I can't access was my golden corral for the fucking multi-species scavenger hunt championship. And the problem is this. It's right near the place where I'm marrying that couple on the 16th. So I have to be in the Berkshires. I have to be there that day. Like, I have to. And I was going to be at the place we ended up fishing anyway, because it'll check some boxes that I need. But now I'm like, I'm concerned because, like, sometimes that place can be hot or cold for me. This other place has on paper looks much more stable, you know, as far as what I'm able to check off for boxes. So I was a little bit concerned about this. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this is going to throw the whole thing. Because, like, I'm not going to do the wedding. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that dick. Like, so for those that aren't aware, I'm going to be doing the multi-species scavenger hunt championship runs noon Friday to noon Sunday. That 48-hour window is the championship. On Saturday afternoon, I'm going to get off the water to go perform a wedding ceremony and then get back on the water afterwards. In fact, it's very possible now that I'm going to take one of my cots that I use to camp, and I'm going to try it out to see if it'll fit in the boat, but I might be sleeping on the boat.
Oh, shit. Lines
in the water fishing for carp.
Okay.
It might be that way. You know, it might. So we're just going to play it by ear. We'll see what happens. So I'm a little like, I've got this going in my mind. I'm not sure what to think here. Well, so Cheryl and I get to this other body of water. We pull into the parking lot. No bullshit, dude. There are 20 trucks and trailers.
There was a goddamn tournament happening that day.
So we got rollers. We got shit tons of wind. The bass were not cooperating at all. Like, at all. And we got angry tournament fishermen on the water. And I'm like, we're going to do nothing but get in their way. I'm like, fuck, let's go. So we did the classroom part of the I call it BFS, Bait Finesse School. We did the classroom part on the boat. Like, you know, I re-spooled stuff. I showed her how to do some cool tricks that I learned from raw fishing, like all kinds of shit. And I'm like, so we'll get you all set up and we'll go. We launch the boat, we take off, we start fishing. And it's challenging. And we knew it would be. And I was like, you know, we'll see how this goes. With intention, we're fishing the wind-blown bank. And when I say wind-blown, it was like pointing the front of the boat away from the bank just to keep from getting blown in. Yeah. Like, it was insane. Have you ever caught a splake, Joe?
No.
A splake is a hybrid lake trout with brook trout. I've never caught one before, but we caught 3 that day.
Oh, geez.
It was crazy. So at first I was like, are these like landlocked salmon? I didn't even know what they were. I caught a tiger too while I was over there, which is pretty cool. So I was like, okay, cool. We got fish on. We know that there's fish here. Let's just keep fishing. Let's just keep going. And I think they were all primarily eating like finesse swim baits on really, really light jig heads. Nothing super, super duper light, because again, with the wind, we needed to be able to, like, number one, get it to cast through that shit. So like, we were throwing shit that was about like an 1/8 ounce, 3/32 in that window. Okay. I think the heaviest thing that we threw was like 3/16 ounce, because we started with like bladed jigs. You know, we started with those HH Customs bladed jigs and the Pig Jigs bladed jigs to see if the vibration was going to be the thing, and it just wasn't. In fact, I was throwing the BF spinner from Pig Jigs, and that got a follow, but no commitment. But once I switched to a finesse swim bait, then we were able to start finding them, which is great. It was awesome, and I think that there were some anglers that were kind of around us and saw us like putting fish in the boat. I have one of the biggest one on video, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I had to do a little bit of research afterwards. I was like, what's the species? What is this? And it looks like apparently the state has stocked splake there at some point or another, and they're caught splake. So that was pretty sweet. We only made it a half day. I think we were off the water by like 1 p.m. Realistically, because we were getting our asses kicked. It seemed like it was getting colder throughout the day. So I got off the water. Cheryl was delighted. It was awesome to finally actually meet her. She is super talented, guys. Josh had mentioned in the bit beforehand about that multi-species box. She's doing the artwork for that box. She did a artwork for another box, I think last summer, and just very cool, very, very cool. So Cheryl, you're the best. We love you. That was really good. I had trivia that night, and then I was like, all right, we're going to send it. This whole time I'm thinking, the fuck am I going to do about this championship? It's in my head. It's killing me. And I happened to see a post from a listener who had done a tournament. I thought they were on, I was like, oh, a tournament must have been where I was. I didn't see your truck there, blah, 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 blah. He's like, no, I was here. I'm like, oh, all right. It's like, I've never even heard of that place. Let me look into it. Well, guess what? That place happens to have a really good population of fish, similar to the body of water I do not have access to for the tournament. So I took my Taco Tuesday and I drove my chunky fat ass. Oh, by the way, I'm officially down over 50 pounds now.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking badass. Got on the scale this week because the first week of the month, I was like, okay, cool. So I drive my ass out. I got Eleanor in tow, and I had to find this place first off because not familiar with it at all. I launch, I go out, and all I was looking for, what I did was I did what Bobby Roast Beef does. I go to the body of water that has those species, and I downsize. We had wind that day, dude. It was crazy. This place was so shallow. In 90 minutes, I caught 5 species.
Wow.
I caught them on, I started out throwing that HH Customs bladed jig, right? Got a couple of follows on that, but no like real commitment. Oh no, I take that back. No. I caught a couple of chain pickerel on that. I was like, okay, so we're going to mix things up. I was like, I got to go a little bit smaller. I think I also may have put a yellow perch on there. I caught about a dozen yellow perch, which is cool. Some big ones, some really, really tiny ones. I started throwing a mule Bronco blade, which is if you've never heard of a Bronco blade, think of a beetle spin. It's kind of that idea. It's the Bronco blade is the blade attachment. You can put it on a variety of different jig heads. I was throwing it on a very, very small 16th ounce jig head. And I was throwing it on this ultralight combo that I have. And I was throwing on that brand new ARC BFS Avid. That brand new reel that they came out with, it's like, right. Like I thought it was like $99 as the price point. It's apparently like $129 or something like that. I'm impressed with that reel. I didn't expect to be because I think that the flagship ARC BFS, the Gravity BFS, is just amazing. I think it's ideal for beginners too. But like if you're looking to get into that on a lower price level, or you're just looking to dabble, the Avid is fantastic, really fantastic. In fact, Raw Fishing had gotten me hip to a rod, an ultralight rod, very, very, very light rod that I'm going to be trying to throw a couple of interesting, super tiny baits. Like we're talking like trout magnets, shit like that. I haven't fucked around with anything that's that light yet, but I would like to. So I might dabble a little bit there and just see what's up. But I was really impressed with this reel. So I was throwing around that. I caught the one species I really kind of needed to know was in there and I could hit the minimum for, and that's an 8-inch rock bass. Mission accomplished. Nice. That was the big one. I put up a reel. I was like, this is great. So we had chain pickerel, yellow perch, rock bass. I caught a bunch of bluegill. One bluegill was on that Bronco blade. The other bluegill that I caught, and I caught 4 or 5, were on the Igudama micro jigs that you had sent me, Joe. And I had heard, I think it was Matt from Small Ponds Big Dreams was talking about how insane these were. I'm like, this is right up my alley. Like this is right in my wheelhouse. And I used a 2-inch swim bait trailer on it. And this got munched, absolutely munched. So I was feeling good about that. I'm like, this is great. But that's when I hooked into that bass, was on, I think that was actually on the Bronco blade as well. I think that one ate the Bronco blade. So I was feeling good. I was like, this is awesome. I only had a couple hours to fish, had to get off the water, zip back over. Things were just crazy. Let's see. Let's take a look at Tuesday back to the Berkshires. Total of 5 species, man. It was really good. Now, the rest of the week was kind of crazy. A lot of gun shit. I got some new accessories in here. That was one of the things I did on Monday. I replaced the grips on my my J frame, and I love them. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this. On Wednesday we got a bunch of rain. So Wednesday I knew it was gonna be a wash. I was like, I think I'm going to ignore Thursday. I probably should have gone to try it. But like after the cold front, after the front from Wednesday, I was like, man, maybe not Thursday, Friday. That's the day. So I went out today, and today was an awesome day. Absolutely badass. Just really, really good. The one other thing that I did this week, and it was on Monday during the editing of the show, is I decided to put together an official final credits song for the podcast. John Carter's going to be pissed because he loves the old song that we used to use, Never Return. And it just happened to be one of those things I found on Epidemic Sound one time. I was like, okay, cool, we'll use this. The problem is a lot of those songs end up going to become like regular releases, and then the royalty-free shit goes away, and then I'm fucked. So this is a big reason why Bobby Roast Beef has been producing a lot of customized songs for the podcast, is to get away from using and relying on royalty-free shit. So I put this together, and dude, because I write the lyrics. And then I use AI tools to produce the music, because ain't nobody got time to fucking reach out to. I have friends in the music business. They have real fucking gigs. They don't need me going like,
hey, can you make me a song about fishing?
No. So I use the tools that are right there. And dude, when I heard this, I got goosebumps. So and I will also say this, I have never had as many people reach out after the podcast dropped on Monday night and say how much, number one, I didn't think anybody got that far in the show to listen to it. You know what I mean? That's like, on some cases, it can be a few hours. This was only like a couple hours in, but people were just like, dude, that is sick. So I made an unplugged version of it so that I could play it at trivia. Mm-hmm. And people are just like, this is pretty good. Who is this? I'm like, no, some of you probably never heard of before. It's kind of underground. Like, I think I played it for you before we started the show, and I was like, it's like the Pastafarian remix. Yeah. I'm like, it's good shit. So that's badass. Todd says he's liking those EGUs too. Yeah, they're badass little jig. They really, really are. Very, very, very cool week. Like it was really cool. And I do also want to mention too, I have that Creek box from Dark Horse Tackle. I have one. It's in my boat right now. And I need to just tell you guys, like about 70% of the stuff that's in there, I'm already fully versed with. Like I already have other colors. What's in there. That kind of shit. There's some stuff that is mind-blowing and is absolutely bananas. And you're going to love this. If you like to dabble in creek fishing, or you like to dabble in multi-species fishing in any capacity, drop the $50 on this and get it. Trust me. I'm going to be doing a full walkthrough and everything. Zek did ask me, no spoilers, so I'm not going to tell you what's in there, but
you're going to love it.
I'm just saying. There's one specific thing in there that I think is two things that are unbelievably cool, that are brand new to me. I've never seen these things, and they're badass. They are absolutely badass. Oh, Todd ordered his last night. See, there you go, dude. There you freaking go.
Oh yeah. Order them up.
Yeah, so it's good shit, man. Things are happening. So we're making stuff go down. It's very, very good. But now why don't we shift gears here? Why don't we shift gears? Because we do have we got a pre-recorded thing that we're gonna play regarding the tournaments. We could talk a little bit more tournament shit there and get some folks fired up on that. But why don't we jump in and do our headlines right here?
Let's do it. Bobby.
Yes.
New fear has been unlocked. New fishing fear has been unlocked. You know why? Because a boy in New Jersey was attacked by a beaver while fishing.
Dude,
Did you see
I
this?
saw that video. Yes.
So, a quiet evening of fishing turned frightening when an 8-year-old boy was attacked by a beaver at Lake Henry in Mahwah, New Jersey. According to local authorities, the incident occurred around 6 p.m. as a child stood along the shoreline casting his line. Without warning, a beaver emerged from the water and charged directly at him. Startled, the boy attempted to run but tripped, giving the animal an opportunity to latch on to his upper thigh. The situation quickly escalated as the beaver continued its attack until a nearby family acquaintance rushed in and intervened, striking and kicking the animal until it retreated. Even after the confrontation ended, witnesses reported that the beaver lingered and circled the area, raising concerns about its behavior. Emergency responders transported the boy to a nearby hospital for treatment. While the full extent of his injuries was not immediately disclosed, officials confirmed that he received medical care. So, I'm going to show you a little Sutton.
Okay.
If I can. I have the video here. For all you jig heads, you can listen to it, see it. Let's see. Share screen.
I'm wondering if it's the same video. Because I have some shit that...
All right. So, let's...
Oh, yeah. It's the same one.
Beaver.
Dude, he like body slammed the thing.
Holy shit.
I like the way he throws it.
He eats it, dude.
Fucking eats it right in there, dude. That's insane, dude.
Dude, I'm surprised they didn't come take that dog underwater.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And
but dude, it looked like a Saturday Night Live skit when he fucking eats
grabs it, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Look at yeet.
That is the video. A buddy of mine sent me that video and was like, dude, he's like, this is insane to see this shit. Like, he's like, beavers are that aggressive? I was like, they're awful. They're the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Hagan says beavers are assholes. Well, I mean, technically.
You know.
He says beavers are assholes. They love to swim over my lines and slap the water repeatedly. I had to climb up on a rock and sit behind me quietly like a stalker. Dude, that is crazy. I'd be a liar. I'd be a fucking liar if I didn't admit that's 100% why I bought this. 100%. Because, dude, like, wildlife while you're out and fishing can be fucking nuts, you know? And I go into some areas that's sketch. So, like, that's a big deal. Like, and there was, I want to say it was like 2021. It was early in the podcast. There was a guy in Greenfield that was swimming in the Green River, right? And was attacked. I believe this beaver was rabid. Like, it was biting at his head.
Oh,
yeah, it was bad. And I think he grabbed it and landed a couple of punches or some shit like that and eventually like got away from it. But like he was bleeding like horrendously. Like it was really fucking bad. They make me fucking nervous, dude, when they're around and I'm like, fuck, you know?
Dude,
I hated it.
I have to admit, they've scared the shit out of me both while fishing, slapping their tail. And there's a spot we used to duck hunt that they would swim. It would be pitch dark out, you know, getting ready. We just set up, dude, and it would be like 10 feet away from us, slapping its tail, and you don't see it, you just hear it, and it scares the absolute shit out of you.
Like if you see it, you're just like, oh, that little fuck, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
like I hate that like beaver huts can hold fish. I hate that because
if you're not throwing at beaver huts, you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they can absolutely hold giants, you know, but like I'm always concerned that like I'm gonna piss one off and it's gonna come back with like a vengeance. But again, now, you know, I'm just gonna introduce an old Smith & Wesson. You know,
that's it.
Blast a beaver, right? That's going to be the next shirt. That's the next shirt, Joe. Blast a beaver.
Blast a beaver. I just went in
the asshole neighbor. Yes, yes, dude. Beaver Lodge is a flathead hole. I didn't realize that specifically. No shit. I've only ever really kind of picked up on like bass will, because oftentimes there's a lot of cover, you know. Throwing topwater rats around beaver huts is can pay off well.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if they think like if the fish think it's like a young beaver and they're just like, oh, munch. But hey.
Yep.
2 meanings, blasting beaver. Welcome to the show, Mark. Absolutely. That's our bread and butter. Double meanings. Double meanings. Blasting beeves.
Double entendre.
A lot of entendre. Plenty. Yeah. Dude, that is rough. Yeah, my buddy sent me that video and he was like, they can really get this aggressive? And I was like, bro, 100% they can.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit disturbing. Let's shift gears here, though. We're going to hear from Binya. He has an update for the May Duo tournament.
Hey everyone, Binya here with a tournament standings update. I have to start this one off with a little information. So, I have noticed recent fishing chaos updates have caused a little bit of a problem with certain phones. And I've actually had to DQ some fish in the May Buds event. I have to have metadata from your images as well as the submission location to be able to accurately judge these fish, to be able to tell that you're within the region, and I have to have that data. Now, if anybody has had a fish DQ'd and they think I'm being a hard ass or think I'm singling people out, I need you to know that I've not only DQ'd your fish, I've DQ'd my fish. I had 73 inches of my own 5-fish bag that I had to DQ because I did not send the EXIF data. Now, could I have just let it go because I'm the tournament director and I know I caught the fish in a legal area? Absolutely. Am I going to do that? I am never going to do that. The reason for that is I want this to be as fair a competition as possible. No one is above the rules, including myself. So if you are upset because you had a fish DQ'd, I'm more upset because I lost my entire bag to this update and I had to play with settings all night last night to get my phone properly sending that data. So again, go check your settings before you submit any more fish. Make sure everything is good. If it doesn't pass the camera roll setting and you cannot get it to pass, just take the pictures with the app. I know it sucks. I know there's situations where that's not convenient, but at the end of the day, we are always going to have an equal and fair playing field regardless of emotions or feelings about it. Now let's get in the standings, guys. In 5th place, we have a newcomer to the money. We have Bloodline Bassin with 82.75 inches. New to the money, new to the top. Congratulations, guys, for getting a good bag early in this event. We have Feel Good Drag at 95 inches in 4th place. They're no stranger to the top. They've kind of flirted up and down throughout the previous event. We have Sticky Rice back again in 3rd place. This team put up huge numbers immediately as soon as they signed up, and they seem to keep rolling with it. We got Team Hula Poppers coming in with 96.5, a tight race between 2nd and 4th, only about an inch and a half separating all of those competitors. We have that damn Team Beaver back on top with 96.5, tied with Hula Poppers, breaking that tie with the tiebreakers. So that's the final standings right now, guys. Please go check your settings, get out there, go catch a bunch of fish, and let's see how the standings fall next week.
Man, I will tell you. So I should clarify that those standings were as of like Friday morning, this morning at 6 a.m. So when you hear us talking about stealing 5th, that's just because that happened today before. Yep. Yeah. So that's what that's all about. But I will say this, like, the team tournament, I think, and I want to try to encourage something here. So Before we dive into this, let's first off throw out the. A lot of folks are probably going to say, like, "Oh, how do I check my settings? How do I change my settings? How do I fix this?" With like what Benny was saying with this update for the app, the rules have. In them, it lists how to do it, but I'm going to walk you through it right now if you want to know. So, what you do is, if you're on the app, on the bottom of the screen, there is a 3-dot little ellipsis in the bottom right-hand corner on the screen. If you tap that, it gives you a pop-up. That's your menu. On the top, you'll notice a little gear icon, and if you tap that, it brings you to your settings. You can change personal information, your public profile, devices and security, all that kind of stuff. And all the way down at the bottom, you will see, hold on a sec, where is it? Oh, maybe it's because I already checked it. Personal information, credentials, notifications, preferences. It's in preferences. So if you go from your menu, then you hit that gear, you go to preferences. All the way down at the bottom, there's a blue button. It says test app settings. And if you tap that, it gives you a pop-up and you have options to test your camera, which you want to test and make sure that that's up to snuff. Test your camera roll. So if you snap your picture using the app for your camera, directly and then upload from that like I do, you want to make sure that that's up there. You should definitely check that. Make sure you get the green light, the thumbs up there. But location settings are the other one. And then from there is where it gets a little bit tricky, because if it's all clear and you get that everything's working, then you're good to go. What you may need to do is go into your device, and I think this affects Android devices primarily, not Apple devices. Apple has been really good about partnering, like allowing these permissions to go through pretty easily with some of the Android devices, because the devices are so different. The operating system might be the same, but the devices might function differently. You might want to tinker around with that. So with that said, I will say there's one thing about this tournament that I love, and I want to try to encourage as much as possible, and that is shit talking. I encourage it wholeheartedly. Obviously in a lighthearted and fun way, but if I could give anybody some advice here, think about this as being not your typical fishing tournament. Think about this as being like a fishing tournament series meets like WWE wrestling, like that, where your team is your personality, your teammate. You work off of one another. So feel free to talk some smack, and be a little bit like, treat your team, be proud of it. Like even Team Beaver has gone the way of like, adopting a logo. I believe it's a collegiate sports team that's called the Beavers, and I think like they're rocking some hats from them or something like that. But like whatever it is, we encourage that. Absolutely, go ahead and talk some shit. Binya chimes in right here. He goes, regarding that update, he goes, I have a PDF I'm sending to anglers for all the settings. Perfect, dude. Perfect. And he's been sending it to folks already. That's perfect. If it was Bill's team, no excuses. No excuses ever. Never. Not a one. Not a one. Let's talk about that for a minute. Did you see the video that Hookset Hoodlums dropped on their channel regarding the April tournament? Hilarious. Absolutely amazing. Good one, yeah. The video where I love the part where Bill was like, if I had known this is how the month was going to go, I would have thrown Bobby right in the water when he got this fish. I'm like, yes, dude. I was, sometimes your boy will just get ripped and watch YouTube and then comment as he's watching the video. Like I do this a lot on like, especially if it's a creator that I'm watching their stuff and I'm friendly with them. I just like, cause I'm like, I just want to push their engagement as much as possible. So that's how I was doing it. But man, it was freaking crazy. Speaking of YouTube, your boy is making a change to his YouTube.
Okay.
I've been seeing the same growth, not posting a whole lot for videos other than the podcast and like the occasional, like when I've got something to drop. So the one thing I am changing is I am not committing to a weekly update, a weekly video.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it be necessary. If I have some stuff that's worth doing, but like I'm not going to go out every single trip and record content, especially because the ones that I normally would, conditions have sucked for recording. Like we've had rain and I don't want to have my cameras out and shit like tomorrow for the slot. Right. it's going to suck. It's going to be ridiculous, you know? I do have some video from when I was out with Cheryl. There was only a few fish catches. So there will be something from that. And then like a couple of clips here and there. But what I might end up doing is some of the stuff where I sit here and I walk you through what I've been doing and run some clips, you know, in between just to kind of like keep up with like what's going on. And yeah, I think that's going to be how I'm going to be treating YouTube a little bit more overall. Instead of just trying to do a video every single week and busting my ass for it, I think I'm just going to try to release the stuff that's solid, you know, and like the unboxings and shit people love. So I'm A-okay with that. A-okay with that. In fact, I have one coming. With that Creek box from Dark Horse Tackle, with with John Dalton's Creek Adventure box. So that'll be coming soon. It'll be good. Yeah, good shit. Good shit. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break? Circle back around here, guys. In our next segment here, we have Just the Tip coming up. We're talking about what happens when you're fishing the day after a cold front. Like, essentially, why yesterday's pattern, like, just told you to fuck off. And some ways that you can hopefully fix it. We do have an interesting FTG. And, Joe, I think you especially are going to find this very interesting. It's an anonymous one. I can't figure out who on earth it is.
Is it me getting shit on again?
It's not you getting shit on.
Okay.
It is not you getting shit on. This is going to be fun. And then we have a bunch of really good calls in the live well. That's coming up in segment 3. Guys, don't go too far. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
This spring, Uber Eats has you covered. Whether you're celebrating mom, dad, or your favorite grad, not all of us are great planners, and with the Uber Eats gift hub, you don't have to be. Send flowers, perfume, champagne, or just their favorite meal straight to their door. Gifts arrive in as little as 25 minutes, and you can add a personalized video message for that additional so-not-last-minute touch. So this spring, get a leg up on gift giving with Uber Eats. Last-minute gifts that land every time. Must be 21 or older to purchase alcohol. Product availability varies per region. See app for details.
Amazon presents Jeff versus Taco Truck Salsa. Whether it's Verde, Roja, or the orange one. For Jeff, trying any salsa is like playing Russian roulette with a flamethrower. Luckily, Jeff saved with Amazon and stocked up on antacids, ginger tea, and milk. Habanero? More like habanero, yes. Save the everyday with Amazon.
Where is Daredevil?
I'm right here. Don't miss the return of Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again.
So what's next?
I feel liberated.
We're gonna take this city back.
Over-medicated.
In an all-new season, now streaming only on Disney+.
They're hunting us. It's time we started hunting them.
I can work with that.
This should be tons of fun.
Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, now streaming only on Disney+.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his Perfect Bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
All right, I gotta know, have you ever had one of those days where you just absolutely smash them? You figure them out, you're feeling like KVD for like 6 straight hours. And then maybe you come back the next day, the same lake, same body of water, same gear, same baits. and it feels like somebody removed every single bass from the lake overnight somehow. Yeah. Welcome to fishing after a cold front. This might be one of the most universally frustrating things in bass fishing because cold fronts don't just make fishing tougher, they actually make anglers question their sanity. One day you can be crushing them on a chatterbait in 2 feet of water. Next day you got bluebird skies, no wind, pressure through the roof, and suddenly the fish act like they've never seen food before in their lives. Now, first things first. A cold front doesn't always mean that the water temperature plummets overnight. Sometimes it does, but more often than not, what really changes is the barometric pressure, wind direction, cloud cover, light penetration, how much oxygen is mixed in, and then fish positioning. And then bass, they feel all of those things. We talk variables, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. The biggest thing a cold front does, it changes the mood of the fish. Aggressive fish can become cautious. Roaming fish position tighter to cover. Reaction bites shrink. And fish that were willing to move 3 feet to smoke a bait yesterday, they might only move 3 inches today. And this is where anglers screw up. They try to force yesterday's bite. They keep bombing a moving bait around, fishing it fast, trying to recreate that magic from yesterday. Instead of recognizing the fish didn't leave, they just changed. So what should you do after a cold front? Well, number one, slow down. And I know everybody says that, but slowing down doesn't mean dragging a worm for 6 straight hours. What it means is more precise casts with longer pauses, fishing high percentage targets thoroughly, and making fish react in tighter strike windows. Sometimes the difference between getting bit and getting ignored is literally letting your bait sit for another 2.5 seconds. Downsizing can help too, but not always. Everybody immediately grabs finesse gear after a front, and sometimes that'll work. But the real key is matching the fish's willingness to commit. Sometimes a smaller bait will help because it looks less threatening, but other times, a bigger bait that hangs in their face a little bit longer will actually trigger them better. And there's no magic lure. It's more about presentation. Fish cover tighter. This is huge. After a front, bass will often get pinned up tighter to wood, rock transitions, shade lines. People forget about shade lines, dock posts, grass edges, isolated cover. Yesterday they were roaming, but today they want that security blanket. So stop fan casting to empty water and start dissecting targets. Wind matters way more than people actually think. Cold fronts usually kill wind, or if nothing else, they'll change it dramatically. And when the wind disappears, a lot of shallow fish, they get spooky really fast, especially when the water is more clear. That's when skipping docks and targeting shade or moving slightly deeper can completely save your day. And honestly, the hardest part about post-front fishing isn't the fishing, it's the mental anguish. Because when the fishing gets tough, most anglers start changing too much. Every 10 minutes, it's a new bait, a different color, a new combo, a different spot, new panic attack, new text to your therapist. Meanwhile, the anglers that grind through it usually keep things simple and make smarter adjustments instead of random ones. If you were catching them yesterday on a chatterbait around shallow grass, maybe today you consider keep the chatterbait, fish it a little bit slower, target thicker clumps, or back out slightly deeper. That's adjustment fishing. It's not panic fishing. Because the truth is, anybody can catch bass when conditions are ideal. But the anglers who consistently catch fish after a cold front, those are the anglers that actually learn how bass behave. And I know some of you listening to this right now got humbled by a cold front recently. So hit the hotline. Tell us, what was it that changed? What stopped working? Or maybe what adjustment finally got you bites? And because honestly, some of the best lessons in fishing come from the worst days. So Joe, what is your confidence bait or even confidence tactic after a cold front? And don't give me that like politically correct answer either. What's the one thing that you can feel like you can pick up or apply when you're frustrated and you just need a bite?
Probably a one of two things. I'll probably go right to like a Wacky or Nico, or I'll bust out the jerk bait and just fish it slow.
Yeah. Jerk bait's actually really fucking good for that. I find that I will oftentimes, and I think that I fish a lot of post frontal shit on, not out of I guess availability. Like lots of times I'll put my money on like, oh, I'm going to go out on this day. And I'm like, there was just this fucking cold front that went through. And I feel like I'm fishing bluebird skies with minimal wind a lot of the time, especially like in the summer. And oftentimes what I'll end up doing there is that's when and I think that's where I built my confidence on like finessey swim baits, like that 3 and 4 inch swim bait, different types of models to get different actions. But like, where I would throw a spinnerbait or a bladed jig or even like a square bill or something like that, or a lipless, that's where I'll start throwing that, because it's a little bit more subtle, you know? And I might even treat the way I throw it a little bit differently too. Like I might just kind of like let it tap the bottom and then swim it up. Quarter turn style, shit like that. Drop shots are also another one. Like when it's really shitty, like I will absolutely throw a drop shot and just hang it there, you know, and just like shake it real slow. But yeah, I want to know, like folks listening to the show, give us a call, text us on the hotline, 413-324-8519. What's your deal? Tell us your story, and we'll throw that stuff on the live wall later. We'll revisit this. But cold front fishing can really fuck people up. You know, I know I wrestled with it, like thinking like what was better for me, post front or pre-front, front or post front. And the reality is like there's real world fishing. And when you're looking at your schedule and you're like, these aren't ideal conditions, like it's better to know going into it and not be like, oh, they were fucking killing it on this. It's like there's something that changed, you know, and wind does play a huge fucking part of it, dude. Wind is huge. Let's see we got some comments here. John Hagan says cats are the same depending on the strength of the front. A strong front will push them deeper into cover, and blue cats will dig into the mud on the bottom and hold. I'll wait 24 to 48 hours to fish. That's a good point too, is the amount of time, because different parts of the country, fronts will affect fish differently. Like there are our listeners that I've talked to where we've talked about frontal conditions, and like if a cold front comes through, especially if it's a heavy one, that might shut their fish down for days, up to a week in some cases. Like they're in a mood. And I think that's the best way to describe it, is they're moody, you know? I feel like fish up here, up north generally, or at least in the Northeast around here, like they seem to bounce back after about a day or two. They kind of start to get their shit together. Binya chimes in here, says a lot of the time you can just go 10 yards deeper from the same spot and fish slower there. Yeah, that's 100%. But it's so funny how like we as anglers will oftentimes be like, I don't know, they always eat bladed jigs here. I can always catch them on this. And it's like, if you look at all the variables, and that list of variables is extensive. One little change in something that could fucking set them off. Set them the fuck off. So, you know, fishing fronts. Let us know. Reach out on the hotline. I'd love to continue this conversation and like, you know, share your stories and everything, because we've all been there, you know, losing our minds like, what the fuck is going on here? And they're just hugging some shit. All right, Joe. You're going to love this.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Hey guys, I don't really want to give my name. I want to remain anonymous. I got an FTG submission for Bobby Roast Beef, because I feel like, first off, he doesn't get enough FTG. Everyone thinks he's so nice and so kind and whatever. And he is. He's a nice guy. He's a kind guy. But I'm going to tell you something. Last week, him and I'm always a week behind on episodes. Last week, him and I had this long conversation on the phone. I was just venting and bullshitting, talking about the Connecticut River. I said, it's fucking featureless, dude. It's like, can't figure out some of these stretches, blah, blah. We have a good conversation. And I'm listening to the episode. This fucking guy does a whole segment about how some people don't know how to fish rivers. Just say my name, Bobby Roast Beef. You played me, dude. FTG. Fuck that guy. Fucking rivers.
I have no idea who that was. That's crazy. Who could that possibly have been? You know? Who knows? Who could it be? It's a mystery.
Who knows?
But what is funny is that I remember that conversation. I was like, you know what, dude? You just gave me a great idea. I think I'm going to cover fishing rivers for the this week's Just the Tip. And I was like, dude, I got a lot of feedback from that. In fact, we're going to hear from South Jersey Josh in the next episode with an additional tip, a safety tip that is pretty good. And you know what? Again, I have no idea who that caller is, but I will say this much. I guarantee you that the caller has absolutely
zero excuses
for anything. But with that said, that caller may actually be able to apply the tip at South Jersey Josh provides, because he had a situation recently that was a little bit frightening. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Mark says, awesome. Fuck you, Bobby, for calling him out. I didn't call him out. That's the thing. I could have. And you know, it's funny, like the Just the Tip stuff, I will often like wreck my brains, and I try to stay like topically like with what is actually in the conversation. And like when it comes to river fishing, like that is the number one thing. Like, you remember back in the day, Joe, when all my interviews had like the same like staple questions that I always included. Yeah. One of them was always like, what's this type of body of water that you feel the least confident in? And everybody was like, rivers, current, unless they knew for sure. They were like, nope, that's what I was raised fishing, was current. So I'm comfortable with it, you know? Fucking crazy shit. Fucking crazy shit. We got Brandon in the house. Yeah, NJBFS gang. How we doing, homie? Man. Yeah. So, fuck me, I guess. Fuck me.
Fuck you, I guess.
I think I'm going to have to put a song together for Fuck That Guy. I think that should be the next one.
Yep.
I think that should be the next one. Maybe we'll include a line about Karens and parking lot shenanigans, washing one's car at the boat ramp, jet skis, period. You know, something like that.
Yep.
Is that Scioto River? Is that what that's called? Scioto River raised me? Scioto? Scioto. I don't know. Anyway, guys, we are going to take a short break. Don't go too far. We got the live well coming up. We got a bunch of calls in here. We even have a little bit of shit talk. I know I mentioned I encourage this, but this is going to be so sweet. We'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Cocktails up here feel just right. Is Cambria amazing? All right. Bring a date, your team, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com. See you on the roof.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on, or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
Oh, yeah. They're burning all right.
These questions are burning hot. Before we jump in here, Brandon goes, he says, I got my grandma telling me to watch out for beavers. I'm telling you, man. They're a little shit, not bears, beavers. No. That was the headline. We talked about that in Jersey. Dude, and I'll tell you, actually, thinking about that video, I have seen beavers locally up here significantly larger than that. Significantly larger. I've seen dead beavers on the side of the road that I was like, was that a dog? Like
fucking bear?
Fucking scary, dude. They are fucking big. But I will tell you, I don't want this to go down a fucking rabbit hole of Bass and Brews shenanigans. But the one and only Nelson, the Lizard King himself, there was a trip, and this was in an episode when it happened. We had recorded, we were on a trip in Connecticut. It's when we did the saltwater send for the trifecta. And we were all camping at this one area, and Nelson does some trapping, and he had I guess somebody who he knows that has a farm that had a beaver issue, needed them eradicated. He was like, "Hey, can you come and do some trapping?" So he trapped some, and he made beaver sliders for.
I remember hearing
dude,
this.
they were so good. And I will tell you what, man. Once you get a good solid taste of beaver, you are going to start to see them as a delicious fucking creature and consider coming out blasting is what you're going to consider. You know what I mean? Just saying. Come at me, bro.
I don't know if I could do it, dude. I don't know if I would be able to eat them.
You know what? Seriously, you know what it tastes? Have you ever had bison?
Yeah.
You know how they say bison is like a beefier kind of beef?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Gotcha.
100%. You would be like, especially if you ground it and you were like, added it to like nachos or something, you'd be like, this is fucking delicious. Oh my God. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't think I could do. Like, I don't like rodents. Like rabbits, not my thing. When people are like, oh yeah, it's a stewed rabbit. It's, for me, way too many fucking bones, not enough fucking protein.
Right.
Beavers. I'll fucking eat a beaver.
Eat a beaver.
It is. He says taste fishy. Not at all. And a lot of like aquatic mammals do have like a fishy element to. Alligator is the same way. My wife likes to say that alligator is like chicken fish.
Dude. That's exactly how I say it. It's almost like it's chicken with a hint of like. It's kind of like. You know, when you go to certain places and you get like chicken tenders or something, and you can tell that they use like either the same fryer or one near like where they do like the fish or whatever.
Yep.
That's alligator, dude.
You go
it has that
Saturday
little hint
for
of
lunch
fishy.
and they had a big fish Friday. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what alligator tastes like.
Brandon goes, Bobby, I love you, but that was some mall cop shit with the gun pull. I'm telling you, dude. Oh. All right, let's dive into the live one because we got a bunch of shit in here, a bunch of different calls, like all kinds of stuff, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this. So we are going to hear first from the one and only Eli Self.
Hey, it's Eli, and I guess this is not necessarily a question for Live Well, but it's maybe going to Live Well. It's a response to the question that you answered last week with brands you'd like to work with. This week I saw, I think it was Bass that posted it, that picture of Aaron Martens, and there used to be a Crown Royal team. Like, you know how there's like, I think Toyota has, like, or I guess, I'm trying to think of like General Motors has like Edwin Evers, and then there's a couple other guys that they like stay always on the General Motors team. But they used to have a Crown Royal team. So, getting jigged and big, sponsored by Crown Royal. I don't think that's too far off. Have a great day, boys.
I'm here for it, dude. I'm 100% here for it. I looked over at this purple Frostbuddy I got here, and I'm like, maybe we do something with Team Crown Royal right there. Of course, I'm an OG Crown Royal lover, but like even like the flavored stuff is really good. So I would not be upset about that. Crown Royal is approachable too. You put like really good bourbon in front of people and you're like, oh yeah, you got to try this. And people are just like, not really my thing. But like, give me a Crown and Diet. It's like college. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It just brings you back. It just brings you back. So I appreciate that. It's great. And fucking Aaron Martins, I didn't realize that he was on Team Crown Royal.
I didn't either.
That's crazy. Big old fucking purple and gold boat. Could you imagine the boat wrap job on that? God. And you know what? It's funny. It's so fucking funny. I was talking with Kyle, a friend of mine. He was on the Fish Whistle Charters, the first go-around last summer. And we were talking, and I told him about Eli's question about brands, and I was like, yeah, I mentioned how I'd love to have TreeWorks on and sponsor. He's like, dude, we keep fucking. The problem is with like getting cannabis industry sponsors, it's not a legal thing. It's like they forget. You got to keep on them constantly. And like I would not be upset if TreeWorks or High Five was like, hey, we'd love to sponsor you, do something. Shit, Smith & Wesson could sponsor me. That'd be fine,
Hell yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome. Keep it come on, keep it local, guys, I like Crown over Crown. Fair. Crown and cream soda. Oh, yeah. Fucking A. Crown and cream. Ooh, that's a good combo right there. We got another call, and this one, I've been waiting for this sucker right here. All right, here we go.
Hey, this is Zach from Team Dark Thumb, formerly known as the Pennsyltuckians. Just calling in to say how much I appreciate the team series and how much fun it is. And we've all got to have goals. Of course, our goal is to win. But there's a secondary goal, which is really important, and that is just to make sure we do better than Bobby and Joe. And we managed to sneak in at the last minute and do that as the Pennsyltuckians. And just want you to know, Bobby and Joe, Dark Thumb coming for you.
Gross, Zach. I'm appalled at such talk.
Apparently, just have a new shit talking segment.
I think that's what it is right there. But now I'm going to go ahead and take a peek right now at the current standings. I mean, I know we just had earlier in the show. I'm just going to take a quick look at the full leaderboard. So, Dark Thumb. Let's see. So we already established that we are in fifth place, and we're only, it looks like 12 and a half inches away from tying it up with first and second, because there's a tie up there. So we're only 12 and a half inches away from being able to do that. And we are in fifth place. Where is Dark Thumb? Oh, they are 10 inches behind us. Oh. It is good to have goals, though, Zach. It truly is. It is really good to have goals. It is only the 8th right now. I mean, realistically, the 9th. We're talking. You've got 21 days of being able to throw down, but we'll see. I'm sure. I'm not even going to look at the leaderboard. I have a feeling that Pennsyltuckians had taken that lead or beaten us last month. But I don't know, man. I feel like we may have got our chops, I feel it's we're only moving up from now.
We got it, dude. We got this one.
That's what I'm saying.
We just got to stay in the top 5, man.
That's all we got to do. And I don't know, maybe we have to just dump a bunch of fentanyl in the local waters that they're fishing in Pennsylvania.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Dude. We'll just make that shit happen,
That's easy.
They don't eat when you're all fucking jacked up on opiates. The last thing they want to do is fucking, no, not at all.
100%.
Not at all. Let's go ahead and shift gears. We got another call coming in, and this is a good one. This is South Jersey Josh.
Hey, Bobby and Joe, it's South Jersey Josh. I'm calling in about the segment you were talking about the river fishing. River fishing is honestly one of my favorite ways to fish, rivers and creeks. Now, I'm primarily a bank angler, so I'm calling in with some stuff to add for that side of it. So fishing a river or creek is, standing on shore, getting in the water is a ton of fun. You have a lot of access to scenarios that you wouldn't have at, say, like a lake or a pond from the bank. But, what's nice is you can kind of get in the water, kind of get a feel for what's going on around there, and kind of do your thing. and you can, you can really, pick apart a spot, I would say possibly even better than you can in some cases from a boat or a kayak. Now, what I would say safety-wise to that, have put myself in some hairy situations, like I pretty much always, occasionally wet wade, but I pretty much always put on, a pair of waders or do whatever. You really got to be cautious for especially if it isn't super clear water, be cautious for boulders in the water or the deeper spots. You kind of got to know what you're looking for. But also to maintain a constant awareness of what the bottom of the creek or river is below you. If you got, some loose gravel or sand, whatever, big deal. But I've been in some situations where it's like a very, it's like a rock bottom, but it's got silt deposit or algae buildup, and it's slicker than ice is in some situations. And especially if you're solo and you're trying to go like that, that can be a very risky situation you could be putting yourself in for the sake of catching some fish, which is still fun, but you really second guess yourself sometimes on some of the places you put yourself in. So a tip I have outside of being mindful of what's below you is if you're going to wear your waders, or if you're going to go in a place like that anyway, it's really good idea to still have on a PFD, like an inflatable PFD. It doesn't matter how experienced you are or whatever. If you take on water in your waders, it's like you have 100-pound anchor that you've turned yourself into, and you're going to go down with it. And there's not much, even if a buddy system is helpful, but that still doesn't mean they're going to be able to get to you fast enough. So having on an inflatable PFD when you're going out in a situation like that is always a really smart idea. Save yourself. Keep yourself with a better chance of survival if something was to happen, God forbid. Anyhow, tight lines.
I mentioned when we had that anonymous phone call with that FTG that caller could have used this information as well. He had a situation where he was out fishing and got just swept away a little bit, and it was a little bit sketch. And when I heard this call from Josh, I was like, 100%. Yeah, that is not a terrible idea. In fact, I would go so far as to say, like, the inflatable PFDs are an awesome idea because they're super flexible and they don't take up much space, all that stuff. If, let's say you're not a kayak angler at all, you're not in any boats or anything, you don't have a use for that PFD for anything else, I would actually recommend getting one that was one of the foam ones with all the pockets. And the reason why I say that is that it can double as tackle storage and access for tools. This way, when you've got your waders and everything on, you have that on. I mean, obviously, it would be redundant if you were wearing like a fishing vest or something like that, but it can play that role and keep a little box of small boxes for whatever you need, a small terminal box or a handful of plastics or something like that for when you're out creeking it like that, where there is current. But he's right. You got to be really, really careful. John Hagens chimes in. He says, river bottom changes constantly. Every flood changes and moves things. I stepped in a spot behind a rock that was 2 feet before and 5 foot the following year. That 100% can happen. He says it gets risky, especially if the water is muddy and you can't see the bottom. You got to know your water and be cautious in new water. And I think that's the thing that really freaks me out about like wet wading more than anything. Is getting in a creek and then stepping in a hole and being like, you're like neck deep all of a sudden or deeper. You know what I mean? Yep. And it can get dicey. It really, really can. So you got to, definitely be careful. People are going to look at you like you're crazy for being out there with a PFD. Let them. They're fucking morons. Yep. Let them. That's a really, really good tip, Josh. But yeah, whoever that caller was definitely could have taken that into consideration. Probably would have been a good idea. We had a conversation afterwards, and I'm only busting balls because he was okay. Had it gone south at all, I would have shut the fuck up. But, because I know I'm opening myself up to another FTG call. But you've been on the chopping block too often, Joe. I feel like it's time. It's my time to shine.
I have been.
You have, and I think it's my time. Dude, it will trigger panic response for people that aren't ready. Definitely, physiologically, when you fall into water, and I learned this with I think it was Lauren from Three Bells. She's like your body uncontrollably goes, and if you're not wearing some type of protection to keep you head above water, you're drowning at that instance. It's just it's sketchy. So Binya chimes in. He goes, he says, or fill your kayak, FML. He had a scary situation where he was out in some wind and was taking on water in, I think it was a hatch door or something like that. And it was sketchy as shit. And I got a phone call from him. I think this was when I was leaving. It was when I was leaving my trip with Cheryl. And he was like, dude, he goes, so I'm done for the day for the tournament. He's like, I just had to pull and drain my kayak out of the water. He's like, holy fucking shit, messed his back all up doing it because it was heavier than normal, obviously. But yeah, like you gotta be scared. You gotta be careful because fucking water is unpredictable, especially when it's
100%.
Yeah, you got to be safe, dude, for sure. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate the call. I think it's something that we got to talk about, and we're gonna go out on another call from Eli. I think this would be a pretty fun one.
Hey, it's Eli with a question for Live. This is kind of a two-part question because you can answer it kind of two different ways. But recently, I've been trying to figure out what I should take out in terms of camera-wise, stuff like that. I usually just bring my phone, snap a picture really quick of fish, throw it back in the water. And a lot of that stems from just fishing on the bank. I do have a GoPro that I could wear. I do kind of have a chest mount that I could wear. But really my main goal is to get out on the water, catch fish, and snap a good looking photo of that fish with either me holding it or me releasing it, something like that. So what is you guys' go-to setups, recommendations? And the reason this is kind of two-part, because I'm asking this as a guy that fishes a lot of the times from the bank. But I guess also you could probably answer this with thinking about from a boat, from a kayak, stuff like that. But what's your go-to setup for that? What does that look like?
So this is interesting because he's talking about taking photographs.
Right.
And like, while motion cameras and all that, absolutely can take decent photos, your phone can do a lot. Really great stuff. The tough thing there is you want to do it remote. So look into, like he said, he's got a GoPro, right? Whatever your camera is, like look into what it's got for voice commands or if there's a remote that you can get. So this way you can set the camera up. Now I'm going to tell you, like, if you're doing this and you're bringing out a GoPro to take pictures, get the video because you can get a screenshot and use that photo. In fact, it's probably easier, Eli, to just do that. When I need a good photo, I'll take a screenshot from a video that I shot in 4K. And it's to me, I feel like it's infinitely easier instead of trying to get a snapshot of that image, of that thing, just to get in that position, hold it for a second, move around a little bit, whatever, get things set up because I can find a good still frame there. Now, I will say, he mentioned fishing on the bank. Get rid of that chest mount, all right? Because you need something that's going to do double duty. That's what I'm saying here. So on jigsandbigs.com, if you go over where our link tree is and everything, there's a list there, okay? And on that list, there's one of the Amazon lists says Bobby's production equipment. Now, it's the first thing I added on here. Now, on my production equipment, like I have the shit that I use for my business. I have shit I use for podcasting. I have shit for, everything, all the accessories, but all the way down at the bottom. And I've mentioned this before. I believe it was actually Brandon had called asking about this, about something similar. What you want to do, I think, is to look into an accessory like this. New Ear makes this, and it's, Neewer makes this, and it's a magnetic neck mount. It's kind of like a chest mount, but what it has is it has like a magnet inside, and it's like almost like a flexible cable with a locking mechanism. You put it around your neck, and it sits a little bit higher than the chesty does, right? It sits a little bit higher up. But what's nice about it is it's easy to move around, and this can do double duty. So if you take that thing off and you bend it in half, because it'll bend right back, but if you bend it in half, you can use that as a makeshift tripod. All right. Or because it's a big loop, you can leave it like that and then buy any quick clamp. Because then you can go and clamp it to the branch of a tree or a street sign or whatever. If you're fishing in a park and there's something that you can clamp it to, you can take and clamp that onto something and grab your picture that way. Now, I will say, if you're doing all this, I would record the video no matter what. And I think the next step is to get a battery pack. And whether you're using GoPro, whether you're using DJI, whatever it is, pull that battery out of the camera. It'll hold heat and make your camera overheat. Pull that battery out, run a USB-C up to your camera. I actually, on my magnetic neck mount, I did a bank fishing trip. Did I even use it? No, it was pretty uneventful. Same thing, though. I had a hoodie on, right, with a pocket in the front. I put the battery pack in my pocket, and I ran the cable up and wrapped it around that neck mount, and then I just plugged it into the camera. And I had way more battery life with that than I do normally. And you just get that thing rolling. Also, learn how to use your camera in loop mode, and it'll save you so much in editing. Like, figure that out too. We can go ahead and do that. Yeah, John Higgins says that's what I've got, the Neewer. I think that is ideal because you can put it on a flat surface. You know, you can take that thing and wrap it around something unhooked and have it stick up. You know, and it'll act like a tripod, because the last thing you want to do is bring out a giant tripod and a DSLR. Bank fishing. And then some angry beaver comes by and knocks it into the water. And, you know, I mean, for that amount of money, it's just not worth it. Also, if you're doing video, if you are going to record video, I would also recommend to get a wireless mic set up where you can put the microphone on, have it. It'll help your audio will sound that much better. Put the work in. I don't know. We should probably do like a content creator summit or something where we talk about all of this stuff and put it in like a special live well or something like that in the future. Yeah. You guys let me know what you think. Like when you're listening to the show, text us in the hotline 413-324-8519. Text us. Let us know if some like production tips like would be there, and throw us some questions too, because then I can go ahead and kind of like know what you're looking for, you know, as far as like, is it a question about editing? Is it a question about capturing media? I do know that there are folks that go out with like a DSLR and they're like, yeah, I get these really good photos and stuff. Dude, you can do that, but you don't want to risk that amount of value out of your camera, you know? And I'll be honest with you, like if you get a decent 4K video, you can grab a screenshot from that. It'll look fantastic. You can run it through a couple of filters to make it look fancy, and you'll be good to go, you know?
Yep.
What do you think, Joe? Do you have anything that you want to add in?
No, not really. I think you nailed it pretty well. When it comes to chest mount, you and I use similar design. Mm-hmm. You have the Neewer, and I use like the lanyard style that you put under your shirt.
That's right. And then it's got the magnet, right?
Yep.
That's sweet.
So that's the style I use. It's worked out well for me. You can adjust it to go higher, lower, all that stuff. Yeah, the battery pack thing's a great idea. I have one to do that. I have a ton of batteries, but like I've noticed that swapping out batteries is a pain in the ass. So I'll probably start doing that a little bit more, having that battery pack in my pocket a little bit more this year. I just like the only downside to that is if it comes unwrapped or something, you might get like friggin' your hand get tangled in it or whatever. Yep, it can be kind of a pain in the ass. But
there is the management part outside of that, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. No, outside of that, I think you think you pretty much nailed it.
John Hakens goes, I want to do a fishing selfie class. I've mastered the prison pose for fishermen. Dude, that's great. I've been there, man. I took a stupid one today. I took one real good one, then I took another one, and my wife's like, your pictures are so stupid. I'm like, I'm glad I can make you laugh. I'm glad I can make you laugh, woman. We got Binya Outdoor says, I'm in for the content summit. You know, and the thing is that Binya, like, when Binya goes out on his boat, like, you know, you see like the graphic of like, it's like a caricature of like the fishing kayak content creator, and it's like a million cameras all over the place and stuff. That's actually Binya. That is actually how he records. He is going out making a feature film, you know, and the thing is that if there's one little nugget that I can give regarding like production out in the field, is that look at the method that you're going out with, right? Whatever it is, and don't try to apply the same principle or the same methods to the way that you're fishing. So when I am recording on the boat, it's a whole different beast than when I'm recording on the kayak. Now, I'll get multiple camera angles, but unlike where like Binya will have multiple cameras on his kayak to record all this stuff at once, I have set up where I've got one camera for my perspective, one camera to get me as like almost like third person. You know, so it's I can flip it around, but it's the same camera, and I just record that stuff, you know, separately. When I'm bank fishing, I am rarely on camera unless I take that and I put it like on my truck or I put it somewhere for a reason. But lots of times when I'm bank fishing, just like you said, Joe, with the battery pack, with the cable, I don't want to undo it to go ahead and do that. So like, I won't be like, oh, I'm going to put this here, take a look at this fish or whatever, but it's definitely something that you can do. But yeah, good shit. Good shit. What a good show this week, Joe.
What a good show.
What a great fucking show. Man, I've been apparently added to the Meta waitlist for some kind of partnership or something for fucking, what do you call it? For Facebook and Instagram.
There you go.
I don't know what that is. Mark B says that my wife makes fun of me for my selfie fish photos. I just embrace it, guys, you know? Call the hotline and tell us about some of the shit your family has said about your fish photos. I'm curious about that. Like my parents, they lay into me pretty good. They're just like, oh yeah, every time we see you, you're like, ee. I'm like, well, I'm fucking happiest when I'm on the water, man. Yeah, we're going to wrap this sucker up, guys. Thanks so much for supporting Jigs and Bigs and all that stuff. Remember, call and text that hotline if you want to submit an FTG or, ask a question for the live well. Just throw some commentary out there. Anything like that, we're all about it. Even if you have a question, I will text back. Absolutely, will text back if you have a question or something and hit us up there for sure. As always, you can go and check our socials at Jigs and Bigs, at American Vet Fishing. Follow us on YouTube, man, and make sure to give us a rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. We do really appreciate all the support. Big shout out and thank you to the Jig Heads. You guys are amazing. Could not do this without you guys at all. I'm sort of just kind of yammering on the same thing that the lyrics of the closing credits song are going to tell you anyway. So with all that said, Joe, do you have anything you want to wrap with before we call it?
Got nothing. Let's do it again next week.
I love it. We'll see you guys in 7 days for more Jigs and Bigs goodness. Have yourselves a good one. And like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
To the stories we told, every bite, every miss, every moment on hold. You showed up till then, stayed through it all. Now we're reeling it back as the night starts to fall. Every download, every share, you kept this thing alive out there. This is what before the